Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight Podcast. It's been a while since we've seen you, and most of you haven't seen me before. My name is Sarah Brookbank. I am your new host of the Spotlight Podcast. I'm very excited to have you guys for today's episode. We are going to talk to Chamber President and CEO Brent Cooper about this year and the strategic imperatives of the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce. Before we get to all that, I want to give a huge shout out and a big thank you to our former hosts, Jeremy Schran and Catherine Nero. Additionally, we are sending all of our thoughts and prayers and a ton of love over to Catherine Nero as she continues her fight against breast cancer. We love her a ton. She is obviously going to be a continued face around the chamber, and we wish her all of the best. Before we talk to Brent, I want to go ahead and thank our sponsors. Our sponsors, CVG, they are our title sponsor. C Crew Consulting, they are our digital sponsor, and our episode sponsors, Horan and Heartland Bank. And one last thing before you guys get to hear from Brent about this year's upcoming events, strategic imperatives, and everything else that has to do with the chamber, I want to go ahead and highlight the Women's Initiative Regional Summit that is happening later this month. The Women's Initiative Regional Summit, sponsored by PNC, is going to happen on October 20th. That's going to be held at the Schiff Conference Center at Xavier University. It's a conference for professional women in the tri-state area. It's a unique event designed for women of all career stages to connect, grow, and achieve. The 2021 Women's Initiative Regional Summit is designed to help attendees emerge into an empowered future. 2021 has been full of unexpected challenges that changed the way we work, learn, and interact with each other. The Women's Initiative Regional Summit is no different. This year's event offers a variety of speakers presenting to everyone from the main stage. Attendees will be seated at tables of 6, and registration is going to be limited. We think this event is going to sell out, so please register as soon as you can to make sure you don't miss this event. All right, now we are going to hear from our sponsors, and I will be right back with Brent Cooper. Thanks.
PG Airport is the lowest fare airport in the tri-state region with 54 nonstop flights and direct international service to 7 destinations, including Paris, France, and now home to both DHL's and Amazon's global cargo hubs. The airport is furthering its position as leader in aviation and is deeply committed to being an economic driver for the community. You can learn more and start your next adventure at cvgairport.com.
Ranking on Google Search and Maps is easy to understand, but hard to do. It requires constant effort and attention, uploading new photos, responding to Google reviews, writing weekly posts, and checking suggested updates. Google listing optimization takes experience and time, and there are no shortcuts. C-Crew gives your Google My Business account the steady, consistent attention it needs to be effective, optimizing, updating, and expanding critical content every single week. From local retail stores to large regional networks, C-Crew generates content, establishes benchmarks, and creates dramatic, measurable increases in engagement. So what can C-Crew do for your business? More calls, more clicks, more clients.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight Podcast. I am here with our CEO and President, Brent Cooper. Brent, welcome. And we are here to talk about the upcoming fiscal year and our 3 strategic imperatives. So, Brent, I will let you take it away.
Well, thanks a lot. Yeah, so our board of directors got together over the summer and created these strategic imperatives for the year to come. Garen Colvin, who's the president of St. Elizabeth Healthcare, helped us identify those strategic imperatives along with all of our executive team and staff. And what they are all really focused around talent and trying to align our region on big ticket items. So the first one is growing, attracting, and retaining world-class talent. The second is really related to that, building an inclusive business community. We know we can't get the talent that we need if we're not in an inclusive and welcoming community. And then finally, it's aligning the region on advocacy issues. We're trying to make sure that our cities and our counties, as well as our elected officials in Frankfort and DC, are all aligned on big ticket items. So those 3 things, growing, attracting, retaining talent, building an inclusive community, and aligning the region on advocacy issues, those are our 3 big strategic imperatives for the coming year. And so you're going to see us working on all of those things. The first one, growing, attracting talent, really grow NKY, growing regional outcomes through workforce, will be really focused on that. And aspects of that, whether that's early childhood, work-based learning, talent attraction, business policies and practices, all of those fall underneath that strategic imperative. The building an inclusive business community, we now have this diversity, equity, and inclusion committee at the Chamber. And so DEI is going to be front and center with that building an inclusive business community piece. And we're very excited. You're going to see additional staff resources. You're going to see a lot more volunteers and new partnerships. We've announced already in the last year partnership with the African American Chamber, the Hispanic Chamber, and recently with the Chinese Chamber. And you're going to see additional partnerships announced. And then finally, on the aligning the business, aligning the region on advocacy issues, you're going to see Triad, the Chamber, Meet NKY. We're all going to be visiting with cities and counties, talking about these imperatives, talking about workforce, transportation, all the things that feed up into our workforce efforts. And we're going to be visiting with those cities and counties at their meetings and talking about those. So those are some of the things you're going to see coming from the Chamber.
Right, and that is very exciting. I know recently with the board coming up, you guys have said repeatedly it's your most diverse board ever. Yeah. So not only are you guys talking about this regionally, you're doing it yourselves. Yeah, we're living and breathing it for sure. And that's what we need to do. We want to model what we want the business community to become. And diversity is something that we're embracing and that we're valuing. And when you see our board, like you said, 11 board members are people of color that range all kinds of spectrums from manufacturing to logistics to healthcare to IT to finance, you name it, big business, small business, education. They're all represented in that cohort. So we're very excited about our board this coming year. Yeah, it's very exciting. I know we've got a lot of events coming up and all sorts of exciting stuff. When you think about the strategic imperatives and you think about this upcoming year, what for you will mean that you guys have had great success? Like, what are those actionable things that you think about when you think of success? Well, the things we're measuring are engagement. How many businesses are we getting engaged? How are we doing on our talent attraction efforts? How are we increasing the number of child care providers? Are we aligning the region on advocacy issues? Do we have our mayors and our counties all singing from the same songbook when it comes to big ticket items? So those are things that we're measuring. At our committee level, we're talking about, how many new faces are we seeing on our committees and driving our programs? Are we, and we're going to be measuring feedback from our members. We do what's called a Net Promoter Score every year. How are we doing? That's kind of our overall gauge as to what our membership thinks about the job we're doing. Over the last 4 years, our Net Promoter Score continues to go up, which is very encouraging. We want to see those measures rise, and so we're going to be looking at all of those things to kind of tell us, hey, are we doing what we said we're going to try to be doing here? Right. When you talk about your membership, obviously the Chamber has a ton of members, which we all love very, very much, which is part of why we do the podcast. We want to show those members that love. You think, is there anything that the existing members can do to embrace those strategic imperatives? Yeah, I think especially in our business policies and practices, so this is our HR 100 groups, how do we make businesses better businesses? So we're encouraging businesses to take a look at all of those policies and the things that we're doing and see if they can incorporate them in. One of the biggest things is just getting staff engaged with the Chamber. A lot of folks have one person engaged with the Chamber or a couple. We're really trying to get it where teams of folks are engaged because it will help you retain talent, it will help you attract talent, and it will also help with your sales and other aspects of the business, help you find vendors, help you find customers. Nothing bad comes from Chamber engagement, only good things. Right. And I keep saying that the Chamber's like a refrigerator. You get out of it what you put into it, and we're cool. I always get that one in there. But it's really true. The more businesses can get engaged, I think the better the outcomes are. So that's one of the things we're hoping to see in this coming year is to really embrace those programs, leadership, all of the HR 100 and Women's Initiative and all the things that we're doing, but get more employees engaged as part of the process. I really think it'll make everybody's business better. Yeah, and what are you most looking forward to in this upcoming year, and what is your favorite strategic imperative? Do you have one? There you go. Well, for me personally, I'll start with the last part of that question. Aligning the region is really I'm obviously we're bought in on DEI. We have to grow and attract and retain talent. But in order for us to do those things, I actually think we have to align the region. And I feel like there's so many
big initiatives going on right now, from the Brent Bridge to all of our workforce efforts, early childhood to work-based learning, etc., that if the region's aligned, it's going to make everything easier and better for our community. So for me, that's the one I'm most passionate about. I am looking forward to seeing Garen Colvin tell his jokes and see his leadership in action with the Chamber this year. We're all excited to see what he's going to bring to the table. And we have a great team at the Chamber. Our staff, top to bottom, I'm just so pleased with. And so getting to see them embrace some of these initiatives, and also their creativity, whether that's Gina Bath at Women's Initiative, or whether that's Lisa Mulcahy at GROW, or Dawn Denham with our Leadership Northern Kentucky. They're always coming up with new programs and exciting things. And Christy Rogers and our EGGS event, if you haven't attended EGGS and Issues, it's something really special. And that committee and having her at the helm with Pat Crowley as our MC, we're really looking forward to those programs for sure.
Great. And then is there anything else that our Chamber membership cannot miss this upcoming year, or anything that they should especially be looking forward to?
Well, one of the things that gets overlooked with the Chamber are our Infinity programs. So these are ways that people can save dollars just by being a Chamber member. We saved one member $80,000 on their health insurance,
wow,
as an example. So it's definitely worth looking at. Our office products, whether it's Office Depot or Staples, you name it. There's so many ways to save money. So I would definitely encourage people to take a look at those, because it covers the cost of your Chamber membership and then some. And I feel like once people embrace those, they start saving some money, they will stay Chamber members for quite some time.
Well, good. That's what we want. We want more Chamber members. And we hope that you guys have really enjoyed this conversation. Brent, thank you. Obviously, you bring a wealth of expertise and knowledge to this podcast and to the Chamber in general. So thank you for joining me today. And if you guys will stick around, I will check out with you guys here in a few minutes. So thanks again.
Hi, I'm Shannon Schumacher, Account Executive, Kentucky Market Leader. At Haran, we champion bold innovation to help employers and individuals thrive. As an industry thought leader, we explore new horizons in healthcare, benefits, employee engagement, and wellness. We work harder to deliver all the strategic benefits, planning, and execution you expect from a true partner. And we do it with laser focus on your short and long-term outcomes to help manage your benefits while improving your employee experience.
So Heartland is celebrating its 110th anniversary this year. Recently, we partnered with the Kinkle family and the Fisher family in Northern Kentucky, Boone, Kenton, and Campbell counties. And we have 3 offices there to serve the Northern Kentucky region. Just remember, when the economy heats up, come see us at Heartland Bank, where banking really feels good.
Come on over to Heartland, where banking feels good.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us and listening to my chat with Brent Cooper, our Chamber President and CEO. We're excited to have you. I hope you guys like this new format. It's exciting for me, so I hope it's exciting for you. Before we go, I want to go ahead and thank our sponsors, CVG, our title sponsor, C-Crew Consulting, our digital sponsor, and our episode sponsors, Haran and Heartland Bank. If you are a member of the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce and you want to be on a podcast episode, or if you're a new listener and you are interested in becoming a Chamber of Commerce member, please reach out to Lynn Ablin. You can find her contact information on our staff directory at nkychamber.com. If you reach out to her, she will help you figure out everything you need to know about the Chamber and getting on the podcast. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us, and I hope to see you next week. Bye.